Hey, welcome to the channel. I'm Musically Malnourished, and you're on my journey to go deep and wide in discovering new music and artists. I recently had the opportunity to talk to lead singer Jonny and lead guitarist James from the band Sky Knives. We specifically are looking at their song Talking to Myself, which I did a react to the music video. Really incredible video, even from the production standpoint. It's their debut single as a band. They were so gracious to talk to me in detail about the lyrics and what they meant, and that was a really cool experience. And then I got to nerd out with them a bit about the music video. So enjoy this conversation with Sky Knives. Well, thank you guys so much for giving me a little bit of your time. Obviously, I have Jonny, lead singer. I have James, lead guitarist for Sky Knives. I wanted to start by just kind of going over maybe a little bit about you guys personally. I would love to get into obviously the band, and then the song, and then the video, which, one of the big things on my channel is I do really appreciate the music first and foremost. And then I love diving into the writing and the lyrical content. Now, I know there are some artists that don't necessarily love talking about maybe the lyrical content. So any of that you guys don't want to talk about, if you'd rather leave some of it anonymous. It's funny because we were talking earlier. I went through 21 Pilots on my channel, and they have some really deep songwriting. We were even talking about, I think most people knew them from the song Stressed Out. I didn't even know that I knew them before I started going through their entire discography, came across Stressed Out. I was like, oh, the whole world has heard this song. But then they just have more and more and more and more. And famously in one interview with Tyler, they asked him about a song, and he was like, well, I already said it. like I wrote the lyrics. I said what I wanted to say about it. And so, if any point of it, because he loves leaving some of that just anonymity for you to kind of, it to mean to you what you want it to mean to you in a sense. So when we get into that section, if there's any of that, you guys feel free to just, say, I don't want to answer that, or leave it up. But
Yeah, James.
That's a Jonny question anyway.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say we just love to talk. We love telling stories, so you're not gonna run into a wall with us.
No.
awesome. Well, I'd love to, let's start at your childhood in the womb.
Fair
I'm just
enough.
kidding.
Fair enough. Was that?
I grew up in Southern Ohio where they did the Jamboree in the hills, and you could hear it from my house echoing through the hills. So as a kid, my mom listened to a lot of Alabama, and so my first word was Bama. That's how bad I wanted her to turn the radio on and turn on Alabama. It's the only country I'll listen to at this point in my life. But my mom knew at when I was in diapers, because I was able to like move in rhythm and other kids couldn't, that this was going to go this direction. So that's the most I can tell you about that.
Destined.
Yeah.
But I would love to know, just for you guys, where kind of your spark came from, I guess, for music, getting into music, whether it's singing or learning an instrument. Like, what was it for you that got you moving in that direction?
James,
Jonny, go
you want me to
ahead.
do it? Okay.
Go ahead, Jonny.
My dad was a musician in the '60s in London, so he grew up with the Beatles and Led Zeppelin, the Stones, and all that stuff. And he grew up worshiping Buddy Holly. Came to this country, and he had a quarter in his pocket, and made his way to San Francisco, and met a hippie, fell in love, and here I am. So there was a lot of rock and roll in my life. And then being in San Francisco, all the hippies there and all the great music that was there. So I was surrounded and saturated in music when I was very young. And my father recently passed away, which is sort of like been an inspiration to what this thing is that I'm doing right now. So it's been it's a really fun journey. It's kind of honoring him as well.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
Thanks.
We're gonna get a tribute song anywhere along the way to
Not
him?
only that, my dad and I wrote music together, and I'm trying to submit a song to the Grammys. He wrote a children's song, and I want to actually put that out. So, but we have a bunch of music together, and I have his old music that I want to redo someday. So, yeah, we're definitely gonna do something like that.
Cool. Awesome. How about you, James?
like I was saying before, man, I grew up, my radio was always on. My mom was a Alabama country. My dad was the 80s, the Cars, and, Stevie Nicks, Phil Collins, so I always vibed with the electronic side of things, the 80s electronic, kind of vibe. Um, my cousins are 6 to 12 years older than me, so driving around in the car, they always had on hair metal. So I think that's kind of where I turned into what I turned into, because like I'll never forget November Rain video comes out and I see Slash walk up on top of that piano, and I'm like, I want to do that. Like that looks awesome, And I think that's when a switch went off for me. Um, I was nothing but Nine Inch Nails and Guns N' Roses and Metallica, and um, I'm a huge fan of the first three Pearl Jam albums.
Okay.
But that was more of a conviction thing that we talked about before we started, that you could hear it in his voice. Like I love the music, but there was something about his voice. And then they got a little too jam bandy for me as time went on, but um, it just got heavier and heavier for me as I went, you know, like life. By the time I'm in high school, I'm listening to Metallica and White Zombie, and I was probably the
White
only kid in my high school that
Zombie.
wore a Slipknot shirt.
Love White Zombie.
Those are good old
Dude,
days.
I wish that they never broke up.
Yeah, they're a good
No
band.
offense to Rob, but there was just something about Jay and his guitar playing. I loved it. I
Oh,
still just love Jay's guitar
you'll
playing.
never hear me say a bad word about Rob Zombie. I love that guy. My God, just talk about a career trajectory. That's awesome. Anyway,
Right.
Yeah, no, I
But yeah,
remember.
that's
Oh,
what
go
it was
ahead.
for
Sorry.
me. No, you're good. That's what it was for me. It was a weird trajectory of country and 80s to hair metal, and then it just got to just full blown. How heavy can it get for a while?
You know what's fun? Do you guys know Aurora?
the
Like,
female artist from yeah, dude, I
yeah,
love
really
her.
sweet looking
Dude,
Norwegian.
her song,
I think
what's that
Norwegian.
one? You can't eat money. Is that right?
The
Yeah,
Seed.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I fucking love.
Have you seen the video where they perform it in the forest?
Yes, 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 yes. That's so cool. I love
Good.
her. I love her.
I actually started recording because I'm going to do a deep dive on Aurora's music library on my channel. So I'm going to actually hopefully be launching that within the next
Oh, I'll
month.
be paying attention.
But it's funny because she said that she went through a phase of metal,
hmm
and that for her though it was just like trying to find the darkest of dark metal, and that's what she was just in, like this rabbit hole of darker and
Wow.
heavier metal.
James, you got to see this
Which
girl.
is
She's like this
I
adorable.
just I just looked her up. I just pulled it up on YouTube so I can check it
Dude,
out. Because I
she's
mean, like,
amazing.
I'm a
yeah,
huge Halsey fan.
Oh, this
I'm
is
a huge Halsey fan.
Halsey's great too,
So
but this is
like,
different. This is like Fever Ray and Bjork mixed together. It's so rad. It's so rad.
oh wow,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
yeah, that
I'll
Seed video with her in the forest is, I think, is a good introduction to her. You
yeah.
get this, not
Is
only
that
can
called
you
Runaway?
hear no, that's one that she's like kind of best known
Mm,
for, which she
Okay.
wrote when she was like 13
yeah,
or
yeah.
something. Runaway. No, it's called The Seed.
The
And
Seed.
specifically find the one where they perform it in a forest, because she gets surprised by this all male vocal choir
Uh,
that she was not expecting. And
I found
it's
it.
just,
mm,
it's, you get a great introduction to her vocal capabilities, obviously the songwriting, but just her like intensity and ferocity. She feels every single bit of the music is just like
And
coursing through.
that's funny, is like me and Johnny have had this talk quite a few times about, like, we're writing songs and we'll send it to Mark, our drummer, and I'll tell Johnny, like, I want everybody to feel what they're playing. I don't
mm,
want you to just play what I wrote. Like, make it yours. I want everyone to have a feeling of emotion, that it's not just not the pride that you wrote your part.
right.
And there are times where things are going to change to fit Johnny's vocals, because he's like, hey, I'm hearing this, and that's the most important to me. Johnny's vocals and him feeling what he's singing is the most important part of anything that we're doing, because there's a ton of bands out there, in my opinion, that are writing lyrics because they think that's what the listener wants to hear. I'm not here for that. I'm here
Yeah.
for art. Like, look, like, I want people to enjoy what we're doing, But if we're not feeling it, what are we doing?
Yeah, there's
It's not real.
James and I've had a long conversation about the philosophy of the lyrics, and there's certain things that work, like if you want to have your hey ho let's go kind of crowd participation type of lyrics, or do you want to have your more intellectual stuff like like Sleep Token, and not really following the standards of songwriting lyrically, at least in top lines. But there's so much fun stuff to get into, like Aurora is definitely one of the ones I've been paying attention to lately. But like all the classic stuff too, it's like, I went back and I love Faith No More. That's my favorite band in the world. And not just because Mike Patton's a great singer, but because all of them work so hard at making it so unique. Like Mike Borden is the greatest drummer. There's three drummers that are the greatest drummers on the planet. It's Mike Borden from Faith No More. It's Matt Sorum from Guns N' Roses and the Cult, and it's Abe Cunningham from Deftones. Everyone else, like Dave Grohl, of course, and Tommy Lee, absolutely. But like those three dudes have
You
this
don't put Neil
ability.
Peart in there?
Yeah, drop your thoughts in the comments,
Fuck
everybody.
that. Yeah, no.
It's time for
Listen, this isn't
battle.
an opinion.
No
This
Neil
is
Peart?
fact. No. I challenge all of you. No.
Listen,
No, that's the great thing about music.
screw your opinion.
No, that's what's so great about music, is because it's like a salad or a meal. Like no one can tell you that you don't like your salad. You know what I'm saying? No one can tell you that you don't
Sure.
like your burger. It's your taste. It's your mouth. It's your ears.
Real quick, I gotta know, just real quick, top of your head, most underrated drummer that you don't really know their name, but you hear the band and you go, God, that guy's amazing.
The guys from the Mars Volta. What's his name? I can't remember his name now.
See, you don't even know his name. You just know he's that damn good. Because that's how it is with me with
That's
the band for
embarrassing.
the drummer for Volumes.
I'll pull him up.
The
Hold
drummer
on.
from Volumes, I don't know his name,
Dude,
but good God, that dude is so underrated.
have you listened to that first Delouse in the Comatorium of the Mars Volta record? Like, Jesus Christ. If you're not on drugs before.
Linda Philomene Tsungi,
Maybe.
also known as Philo.
Maybe. I don't know. I was living in Los Angeles at the time, and I worked at the Virgin Megastore. And the where they recorded it was this mansion that was like a haunted mansion where Blood Sugar Sex Magic was recorded. And they would come down to the Virgin Megastore and like buy movies and music and stuff. And I talked to them. And like John Frusciante was going up there. Like all these people were going up there and recording on this record. And it was amazing. And so I just, that record just I can listen to at any time and just like dissect any musicians like on there, like just the guitar, just the bass, just the vocals, just the drums. It's amazing. And I can't remember the drummer's name. And I feel like as soon as we hang up, I'm gonna look and be like, oh my God. Like, it's gonna be one of those things. But it's so awesome to go back and listen to that record. I say that's an underrated motherfucker. Although maybe not.
Well, I love, how you guys kind of talk about the idea and philosophy around writing music. Is that something that you guys feel like you've always carried through your careers? I'm 37. We were talking before. I'm 37. I know you guys are in your 40s, not to put you on
I'm
blast.
75.
But do you feel like even not only like with songwriting and things like that, but even the formation of this band, do you feel like you're approaching it differently, being the age you are, having gone through the things you've gone through, the different experiences you've had? Has that shaped how you guys have approached this any differently?
Do you want me to go?
100%.
Yeah.
For me, I'll make it quick, 100%, because you live. I don't live my life on what ifs. I live my life on, and I don't regret, because regret doesn't do any good. You learn from your mistakes. Don't regret your mistakes. Learn from your mistakes.
There's no such thing as mistakes.
And no, and that's the one thing me and Johnny have always agreed on. There's no mistakes. It's just you. Okay, well, we don't like that. No, we're gonna move on from it. We're gonna do something different. There's no there is no you fuck that up.
Right.
There is a maybe let's try it a little bit different.
Yep.
Like there's no right or wrong. It's just navigating what you think is good. I mean, dude, if you would have known me 20 years ago, I'm writing just down picking heavy metal. But I've always loved the electronics, like I said before, in the 80s. And I've always liked electronics in the new metal. That's why I love Spineshank so much 26 years ago. And I still listen to him now, because I like the electronics. And that's a big part of what we do now. Me and Johnny do not listen to the same bands.
No.
We are not. We probably have less bands that we listen to together than separately.
Yeah.
And I personally think that's why we work out so well,
I agree.
because we're on totally different spectrums, but
Sure.
we're on the same page.
Yeah.
And I think that really makes a big deal. Like, I never would have thought that I'd be working with a guy that I met on Facebook who just randomly wrote me one night and goes, "Hey, I'm looking to sing again. Do you know anybody looking?" I'm like, "What do you think of this?"
Mm,
And I sent him talking to myself, a totally different version,
mm.
probably my 10th version of the song in 10 years. And he was like, "I love it." And I'm like, "Put some lyrics on it. Let's go." And we just decided that night. It was like March of 2025. I'll never forget. We're at 3 in the morning, and I'm like, "You got any band names? Because I'm out." Like, I've used all of them. And he sends me a list. And he goes, "Some are a joke, some are serious." I'm like, "That's fine." And I'm like, "Well, I'm down to 3, but what is this?" And he explained to me, I said, "What's Sky Knives?" And he gave me the explanation, which I'll let him tell you. And I was like, "This is the band name. Like, we have to go with this." And that was it. So, but if you'd like to tell him, Johnny, where that came from, you go right ahead, because
Yeah.
that was your name.
Well, just to like back up your point, we both, yes, we come from different worlds, and we both have different kind of influences that inspire the other person. But one thing that happened in this band pretty early on is we had a conversation about respect, and respecting everybody in the band on a deeper level than we had experienced previously. So I said, "Look, I'm a songwriter. Um, you're a songwriter. Our drummer is a songwriter as well. He's also a singer, so that's really helpful. Our other two guitar players, they're bass player and guitar player. They're songwriters. So we said, look, no matter who writes a song in this band, no matter what you do in this band, if you're in this band, you get paid evenly. Doesn't matter. That's the deal in this band. It doesn't matter if someone never writes a fucking note. If you're in this band, you're in this band for a reason. So we wanted to give everybody the
Yep.
respect and take that pressure off of like, well, let me get my song on the radio. Let me get my song as a single, so
Yeah,
I got to pay
sure.
my this or that. But no, everybody gets paid evenly in this band. So that took a lot of pressure off of having to perform or trusting each other in certain situations. So that, I think that first conversation really set the bar of who the two of us are, but also who we were going
Yeah.
to attract. So that was a really big thing. But then
100%.
talking about Sky Knives, I just write. I'm a creative writer. I just write all the time. Sometimes I'm writing a sentence. Sometimes I'm writing a paragraph. Sometimes I'm writing band names, lyrics, whatever. So I had this band name because I thought of what's the most terrifying thing you could think of, and I thought, like, what if like there was a cargo plane flying over a major city that was carrying kitchen knives, and something broke and opened, and all these kitchen knives start falling out of the back of a cargo plane onto a city, and you're like, oh my god, watch out for the sky knives. I just thought that was pretty cool and like terrifying in like an old, like, Sam Raimi horror movie kind of way. And it was
Yeah.
just, I just thought it was funny and fun and also kind of scary at the same time. So I thought that that's kind of representative of us.
Fun and
Yeah,
scary.
fun and scary.
Well, what's funny is, when we brought Island in to play bass, Island plays bass for the Union Underground and the Genitorture, so he's got a totally different vibe of his own.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mark, I toured with Mark in the Crown, and Mark actually hit me up to say, "Hey, I want to shoot a video for you." And I go, "Why?" Because he's like, "Fly me in, I'll do it for free." And I go, "Why?" And he goes, "Dude, you were just so nice to me on tour that when I toured with the Crown, that he's like, I just want to help you out." And I call Johnny right away. I go, "Hey." He goes, "Yeah." I go, "I got our drummer."
Yeah.
And he goes, "What?" And I go, "I got the guy. Trust me. You got to trust me on this one. Everything's been with our gut.
Mm-hmm.
Not much has been chosen with our brain. It's been, what's my gut telling me?"
Mm-hmm.
Because the brain sometimes will tell you what you want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Your gut's going to tell you, "No, no, no, no. I'm going to make you vomit right now if you do that."
Yeah.
And it's been, it was so funny because, we didn't add Joey in, who's not in the video, because Joey didn't join the band until after we shot the video, the other guitar player. But I remember calling Johnny and I go, "Hey, do you know Joey Rodriguez?" And he goes, "Yeah, I know him from Facebook." And I go, "I played with him when I was in, because I live in Jacksonville." I'm like, "I played with him when they redid Allele before I joined A Killer's Confession." and he's a great guitar player, super good, nice guy. Like, he's got a different vibe than me for guitar, and I think we need it. And he goes, okay. So I call Joey. I go, hey, do you want to do this? He goes, I'm in. I sent Joey one of the demos we were working on, and he put his own little stank on it. And he sends it to us, and Johnny goes, yep, I get it now. You know, none of us listen to the same stuff for the most part, and that's what's awesome, because it's going to let us all just literally melt it together. And it really has been like this refreshing, fun, like our group chat. Like it's ridiculous because everybody's having fun.
Yeah.
It's not like Johnny said, no one's in there going like, am I really a part of this band? No, you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're going to do this and have fun doing it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it's been.
We want to be in each other's lives forever. And the only way that happens is if you respect each other.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%. And
Yeah,
we're all too
yeah,
old for the high school drama.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
We've all been cheated on a couple times now. So we all understand the boundaries of a relationship. So, yeah.
I mean, me, Johnny, Island, and Mark were never all in the same room until the night before we shot the video.
Yep. Yeah.
Because we all flew to LA to shoot the video.
Yeah.
So it was 11 p.m. the night before we shot the pool scene.
Yeah.
Before we all got together. Me, Johnny, and my wife went into LA and gave my wife the LA treatment for a night, you know, hit a couple bars and had some dinner. And, you know, we got back to the house. Yeah, the Airbnb Johnny got us, which was still over the top, but it was awesome. And
so was the drive.
the minute
remember that driveway?
But the minute, dude, the drive, it's like a half-mile driveway.
That's insane.
But the guys, the minute we were all together, I was like, I was right. This is gonna work. Like, everybody's on the same page, and it was one of the funnest weekends I've ever had.
Yeah.
Other than, you know, having to wear an ankle weight on my foot to keep me underwater because my guitar kept bringing me up.
We're gonna hold that. That actually was a question that I had, so we'll hold that one.
Okay.
No, I did. You guys did mention something that I'm curious about. So, with you guys living in different places, because obviously there's 5 of you in the band now.
Yeah.
Does everyone live in a different place?
For the most part. So I'm technically in Jacksonville, Florida. Island is in Port Richey, which is just north of Tampa. It just so happens Joey is in Zephyr Hills, which is just a little east of Tampa. So they're like an hour from each other. I'm about 3.5 hours from them. But then Mark's in Austin. And then, you know, Johnny's, as you said, he's in Vegas. So
Vegas, baby.
it's a lot of email. It's a lot of emailing of files. Go, hey, I wrote this. What do you think? I'm gonna send it to you. Do your thing. You know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that was what I was curious about, was how you guys kind of work back and forth. So if you're sending stuff, which I know it's like technology today makes it pretty easy if you've got a decent little setup to record some. And for the most part, I mean, if you had to, you could set your phone off to the side, record from an amp or whatever. What do you think of this? But when you guys are deciding to like actually write something, do you have to get in the same room, or does everybody have the ability to kind of professionally record enough to send something to where it can be worked with?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah. I mean, basically all of us,
everybody's got it.
Yeah. I mean, basically like,
go.
Island is like a producer on his own. So he has a whole music setup. You know, James has built so many good relationships with people over the years that because of who he is, that like people will record him for free pretty much wherever he lands. And, you know, once again, like our drummer is in Austin, Texas, like, you know, take your pick of people to do stuff in there. It's like
Yeah,
the city.
sure.
And me too. Like I've lived in San Francisco, Los Angeles, now Vegas. Like you just end up meeting people that can help you or learning the skill yourself, you know, and, you know,
that's what I'm working on now, so I can do it at home.
Yeah.
You know, because I've never had to do it at home, but living in Jacksonville now, I don't have that, you know, and I want to be able to do it from home, just that way when I'm thinking about it, I can just jump right on it.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
But
now I do have to ask, Johnny, is that a full-size Yoda replica in your background?
I don't know how much time you have, but
we got a minute,
dude. All right. Let's see if I can do it.
If he moves, I'm out of here.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here.
You got Slimer?
Yeah, I got all kinds of shit in here. Yeah.
Grogu.
Yeah,
Not baby
I'm a
Yoda.
huge Star Wars nerd. I get like
It hurts him that I've never seen one.
no, actually it
Oh,
doesn't. It makes me happy because then I get to watch them with you for the first time again. That's what I think,
yeah, there you go.
That's what my wife said 5 years ago. Still hasn't happened.
Well,
Oh, we're about to get the studio tour.
yeah, well, I mean, basically, like I have like just like different stuff, or just like I can get an idea down really quickly. But like my
Yeah.
favorite thing, which is not fucking plugged in right now, but is I got my theremin. Do you know what a theremin is? So basically,
Is that the thing where you
yeah,
move
you get close to it.
the magnet, the rod?
You don't touch it. You basically get
Okay.
everyone's body has an electromagnetic field, and the closer your electromagnetic field gets to this, it affects the pitch and tone and volume. So you play it without moving it. So it's kind of fun. It sounds like a spooky, Halloween thing. It's pretty rad. So but yeah, like what?
So Johnny has all of that, and I have Pickles Cage.
There you go, Pickles Cage.
Did you 3D print that?
I had a friend of mine get it for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, cool.
Johnny's room is like a museum of its own.
Yeah, mine's not quite as cool as yours. I got a couple of things in here. I do have a Lego Game Boy.
Right on. There you go. Always good.
I have the
got
Nintendo.
cartridges in
It's
it.
awesome.
Like, oh wait, we're doing an interview. No, it's show and tell time.
Yeah, right.
Well, as far as like getting into the song, Jonny, on the track, you're credited as the writer.
Mhm.
I do know, and James, that you had mentioned as far as like kind of the riff and all of that, it kind of originated from you. How does that dynamic kind of work within y'all's group? And I know that you said everybody in the group has some writing capability.
Johnny is always going to be a writer on a song just because he's doing the lyrics, and so he'll
Sure.
tell us, "Hey guys, can we change this? Can we navigate this way? Because I'm hearing this vocally." So Johnny's always going to be. He's always going to have his. I don't want to say a final say because it sounds wrong, but it is kind of what it is. It's a hey, like I need this to work this way to make this lyric fit, and none of us are ever going to argue that because without his lyrical content, the song's just a song,
Well,
It's
well,
just
and like we talked about earlier too, I think some of this, hopefully you can grab this when you're young, but I think with age, unless you're like the guy that never grew up, like the varsity jacket, the old guy at the high school parties or whatever. But hopefully at this point in our lives, there is an ability to not bring ego into the picture so much. And I think if somebody, like let's say Jonny is a lead singer, is able to kind of operate in that way, and you guys have talked about that mutual respect, then you kind of want to meet him as well. Like you want to meet each other and be like, oh yeah, we can do that. Now, obviously, if you feel something's like, yeah, I really want to fight for this, like you work that out among one another. But I feel like if everybody's willing to meet each other and work together and flow together ultimately for the best of the song, then, that should hopefully help that dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, James, sent me the song, and I just asked him. I said, "Is there anything that you were writing about, or had in mind when you did this riff?" And he said, "Yeah, I kind of wrote around my girl and how she saved me and kind of stuff like that." And I was like, "Okay, so let me just play around with that idea for a little bit." And then we started talking more about the band, and I was really inspired by Sleep Token and President, bands that like have like a theme. And I just really kind of like that idea of like a theme running through the whole concept of the band. So I wrote this story about a guy whose life is falling apart. His girl's gone, his band is gone, or his car is gone, or his dog is gone, or his whatever's gone. Everything's gone for him. His money's crap. And he starts looking into the dark arts and looking into some witchcraft and stuff, and he's trying to cast spells and do all this stuff to just better his life. And he comes across a thing about a witch blessing him, and this witch will do it on one condition, and you never know what that condition is until you do it. So kind of like a Faustian story here, like Spawn or something like that, and you come in and you get what you want, but it's at a price. So now the guy is coming in and he's like, everything's working for his life now. Everything's like kind of flowing and working the way he wants it to work, but he's not sure if he did it or if the witch did it, and he can't really remember So it's also kind of like that movie Memento, where like you're kind of figuring it out as you walk through the storyline. So I love Star Wars, as I said. So I like how it started in episode 4. So I'm kind of starting now the storyline of like, this guy is figuring everything out now, and like things are happening for me. What's going on? Why is that happening? And then we'll go backwards and go forwards and stuff like that. So you can have a lot of fun with it, because I think one of the things that happens in music, especially with singers, when you start writing these lyrics, it starts to become identity. Like, Marilyn Manson, he's sort of boxed himself into a corner now because he has to sing about anti-God, anti this, when I'm being the spooky guy and having no eyebrows. That's it. Better that can't change a thing. So he's it's stuck. And also, but then who's Brian? Where does Manson and Brian end? And then there's Alice Cooper and Vinny, and like, where does that line end and stuff like that. So I didn't want it to be wrapped up in my identity, like I'm going through this and I'm this situation. I am living through it, but it's like my story that I'm talking about of a situation with this one particular character throughout that. So we have the witch in the video, and that witch is going to appear throughout videos and throughout motifs
Okay.
and different things. And she's going to grant things to the character and give him like blessings or like protection and stuff like that. So we're kind of leaning into this whole mythology of the witch, and it's been fun.
Do you feel like I guess we can get into talking about some of the specifics within the song
Yeah.
itself, unless you want to add anything to that, James.
No, no, this was all Johnny's idea. When he's doing when Johnny says I have an idea, I just let it roll. Like I full on trust. Do what you got to do. When we walked into that video, all I was told was, I'll never forget. I got a phone call on a Friday night. What's up, dude? Hey, can you swim? Yeah, Johnny, I can swim. I was a lifeguard and I was a kid. Okay, good.
Okay,
We're
bye.
probably gonna have to have some underwater shots.
Yeah.
And I go, guitar or no guitar? And he goes, guitar. And I go, okay, let me know. And that was the end of that. Okay, I got to call the other guys. And that was the end of the conversation. So
Yeah.
I didn't know really what we were walking into until we got to Hollywood. And, I just knew, okay, well, this guitar is going to get ruined underwater tonight. And that was about all I knew at the time.
So I know you mentioned a little bit about the song. Within this specific song of Talking to Myself, what do you feel like kind of a synopsis of that? Is this time of kind of reflecting over a past event within the song?
It's so basically the character is going through a moment of reflection and going like, oh, none of these things that I thought were mistakes are mistakes. They're all lessons. And talking to myself, the witch basically got him to have a conversation with himself and open up a dialogue with the scariest parts of himself. Like, there's a thing called the shadow process. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. So
I've heard of people mention, like, it's funny that you talk about Sleep Token, because I started going through Sleep Token's library about a month ago on my channel. So we are almost at the end of Take Me Back to Eden, and then we have Even in Arcadia left to go. So I've gone through their early EPs and singles, and obviously the Sundowning, This Place Will Become Your Tomb,
nice.
and now Take Me Back to Eden. But even in there, some people will say, I think this song or whatnot is his shadow work. And so I don't know if that's kind of what you're maybe referencing.
Yeah, possibly. So I did this thing with this woman named Debbie Ford back in like '05. So it's basically like, you look at your personality as like, say, a speedometer, right? And if you're only taking it to here because that's the safe stuff, and anything over here is like, anxiety, anger, frustration. So you never really know your full self because you're just only going to here. So Debbie taught me like, you do the whole spectrum, and there's ways to positively manipulate. There's positive lying. There's positive, stuff that you would not necessarily think were positive. And it's getting close to your dark side and looking at it and going like, okay, it's not that scary. I was afraid of being too aggressive because I was so determined to make my music exactly the way it has to be, and then I'd yell at my bandmates like, "Oh, it's got to be like this," or whatever the fuck, and start stupid arguments. And I realized like I was holding onto it so tight that it became so precious that I strangled it, kind of like Mice and Men, like what's his name, Lenny, squeezing them out. So it's like I realized I had to let go and understand that my fear was pushing me in a direction that wasn't helpful in the end goal. So you start to look at why you have that fear, because it's, obviously because of something underneath it. And you look at all your childhood stuff or you past breakups or whatever. Sometimes it's even genetics. And you just look at all that stuff and make friends with it. And so that's what talking to myself is really about, like making friends with the dark part of yourself to get the full spectrum of, Matthew, Jonny, James, whoever that is. So that's kind of what I'm talking about.
So this lyric, I remember her face, both the time and the place. It eludes or escapes. If you touch it, it breaks. Is that speaking to like a memory, like trying to hold on to something, but it's really fragile?
Exactly.
Okay. Yes. my motto for my deep dive videos after I was getting some hate comments was, hey, we don't always get it right, but we always learn something. And it's because sometimes it's hard to most of the time I want to say, like, here's what I think, and I try to leave a lot of room for conversation in the comments. But I always hate the thought of speaking so definitively, like, unless I'm the song's super clear. I don't be like, this is what they're saying, because I would hate and some people probably don't mind it, right? But I would just hate the artist ever coming across it being like, that's not what I was saying at all,
Well,
dude.
even still, like, if you said that to me, if you said like, hey, is this about blah, 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 and you were not correct on where I was going with it, you might inspire me like, oh, but that's a good thing to write about. So it's still good that you said
Sure.
that,
My thing is, I look, I'm not a very religious person. I'm not anti-religion. I'm just not. But I do listen to a lot of Christian hard rock and metal, Demon Hunter, Pillar, Cutlass, and it's funny because Jeremy Camp. You can listen to these bands and listen to these songs, and you could totally take them. The lyrics can definitely go more than one way,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I love music so much, because I'll hear something and you won't even think that's what it's about, but that's what I think it's about, or that's how I took it. It doesn't need to, it
Sure.
doesn't matter what they were writing about. It's how I'm taking it, and that's what makes me vibe with this song right now.
Yeah, like
And
Bohemian
and
Rhapsody. Bohemian Rhapsody. People thought Freddie was talking about dying of AIDS, but we wrote it way before that.
Mm.
yeah, that's it's so funny to me how people take music so seriously with lyrics, with what, like, look, all I'm gonna say is if someone takes the time to write a negative comment on anything, you still did your job, because you got them to go, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, I got under the
They
skin.
could just easily, as we said earlier, you could click next and move on, but instead you felt the need to say something.
Mhm.
So you did your job.
Thanks for boosting the algorithm.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
100%.
So here in the chorus, I believe, you've got me talking to myself. You've got me talking again. Screamed out, my demons have gone deaf. You've got us talking again. There's two things I'm curious about this. So talking to myself, I assume, is kind of the reflection,
Mhm.
like having a conversation, doing the work type thing. Screaming out or screamed out, my demons have gone deaf. Are you trying to communicate this, like not getting an answer back? Is it kind of screaming out into the void? What's the idea there?
Yeah. So I was basically looking at how my demons, my intrusive thoughts, are never gonna stop. They're deaf. I could yell at them all. I'm screamed out. I could yell at these things
Okay.
all day long. It's getting right with
Mm.
me first. Doesn't matter what else is happening.
Like they don't really care, in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That was one. The other way. That was my third option. I went with the two first. And then I was curious if there's a specific reason. So you've got me talking to myself.
Mhm.
You've got me talking again. And then the final one is you've got us talking again.
Mhm. So
Is there something specific between that talking to myself, me talking, and us talking?
it's this. I think it's just at the end of the song, it's like really kind of reflecting more of like I'm talking to the witch, and you've
Mm.
got me and my dark side and my shadow work working together. You told me that I needed clearly to get in touch with whoever this dark entity is inside me, and now you've got us talking again. And there was
Okay,
and
cool.
again, like I'm gonna reference stuff from the beginning and pull like I'm throwing little breadcrumbs, throughout the thing of like, again, that was maybe this, kind of stuff. So
No, it's very cool. I love that progression that it's essentially saying the same thing three times. I guess if I'm correct, but just saying it a different way. Like got me talking to myself. So now, but I'm also that means that like I'm talking, I'm active in the conversation, and now me and myself are having this
yeah,
conversation.
you got it.
That's cool. Um, the one other thing that I was curious about, come with a dark smear. This is how I
Hmm.
disappear.
So I also, I tend to flip the perspective without telling you. So that's the witch coming in with a darker smear. And so
Hmm.
you see the black stuff coming out of her mouth. So that's
Yes.
the smear of like just all the things that she's conjuring up and then pushing out of her in like her own voice or her own blend of medicine, spell, incantations, whatever you want to call it. Like, so all that energy that she's conjured up through the ball, through the crystal ball, through the smoke, through the all the other entities, it just spills out of her mouth into that skull that we had, and then my head's at the end. So she's breathing life into this new version of me.
Oh, okay. That's very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I was curious. That was going to be, I had a technical question around the head replacement uh, there, but no, that's really interesting to think about. So it's the idea of engaging in the work in some way has brought about a new you.
Yes.
Very cool. That's really
Oh,
interesting.
thanks.
Okay. Are there any other thoughts you have or want to share about the song itself before we talk about the video a little bit?
It took a lot of work to get there, and it was an interesting point of what happened. James sent a very uh, skeletal version of the song originally with a very different tone, and Aaron from the singer for Gemini Syndrome actually helped me. Uh, he was helping me through actually a lot of emotional stuff. We're both singers, but he's the most amazing singer in the world. He was helping me kind of go through some emotional stuff, and I was figuring out like why I couldn't hit certain notes. And he's like, "Yeah, Johnny,
Mm,
it's not here, it's here." So I was like, "Oh fuck, okay, I
wow.
got to work on that." So as a result,
Limiting
yeah, but then it
beliefs.
was kind of cool because like, well, hang on, will you produce this song for me because I want you to sit and watch me sing and see where I go and call me out in a way that a singer should. And he did, and it kind of helped me train me
That's
better back
amazing.
into the right way of singing. And then we gave it to our producer, and then he took it a whole new level. And so it was a very, very, very interesting process of how this song came about.
And
Wow,
and
what
it
a
was
treat
kind
to
of
have
funny because
somebody
like
like
my
that.
my last tour that I did with AKC, Aaron was his bunk was right here next to mine. He was with us. So, I spent 3 weeks on the road with Aaron, had a great time with him. I was actually helping him tech for the tour just because it was just him doing acoustic. And I was like, I got you, I'll help you. And then 2.5, 3 months later, Johnny's like, yeah, Aaron's one of my best friends. I'm going to go work with him. And I'm like, so it's kind of a full circle of like bringing Aaron back into the mix with me, which made me happy because I love him to death. So, um, yeah, if it wasn't for Aaron, um, there was Aaron had a big part to play, I think, in the very beginning of us working together because we were all friends and we all knew each other, so we all kind of had again the respect and just the. I'm waking up at 7:30 and on Eastern time, and Aaron's sending me texts at 7:45. Hey, check this out! I've been working on this all night, and I'm like,
Yeah,
go to bed.
yeah,
We'll deal with this later.
yeah.
Like,
He wouldn't sleep. It was really interesting. He cared so
Mm,
deeply about it. It was a really beautiful moment for us to share. I was really happy about that.
I was like, Aaron, I love you, dude, but get some fucking sleep.
Yeah,
We'll talk later. Like,
yeah, yeah.
that's awesome. Well, I know you guys had talked about, you'd mentioned somebody, I'm wanting to work with you guys on producing the music video. Like, how does that whole thing unfold? Because again, I have I do video production work in a different sense, for like local businesses, things like that. I've never shot a music video, but I do have an idea of what it requires to get everybody in the room, to get the props, to know what we're shooting and the lighting. And you guys did some things too, which I have some comments about that aren't, they're not like the most difficult in the whole world, but they're not necessarily simple, even from the cosmetic things you guys did to the lighting to being in the pool. And so, like, how does that come together and come about? And even the concept behind it, like putting all
That's
the pieces
Johnny not
together.
sleeping for like a month.
Yeah.
That
Oh.
was all. Like that was Johnny just on a rampage.
Mm.
He knew what he wanted, and he was not gonna take no for an answer.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I didn't get many no's, but I think that the first thing, like I grew up in film. Like my aunt, this incredible actress, woman named Fanula Flanagan, and she did a Star Wars movie back in the day. She did the Ewok Adventure. Remember that one?
Okay.
She was in
Yes.
that, but she did like a ton of Star Trek and a ton. And she's a great actress. She's done a ton of stuff. Anyway, she would bring me on set, and I would meet all these film people, and I've met incredible people in the film world, both in front of and behind the camera, and absorbed everything from them. So I loved cheesy horror movies. I loved Evil Dead, and I loved all the Halloweens and Friday the 13th and stuff like that. And I mean, I'm in SAG because of Nightmare on Elm Street, but that's a whole other story. But I love that element of music where you have the blend of film and music. I've always loved that. And when I saw Falling in Reverse, God is a Weapon, I was like, all right, game over. The best videos ever has been made. We can all go home. So that I was just blown away. I'm looking at this every frame. I love Ronnie. I think he's the embodiment of rock star. I think he's great. And I was looking at this thing that he did, and I was just like, this is insane. This is millions and millions of dollars. Forget about Manson even being a part of it, which elevated it. But like, let's just look at this incredibly shot video. So then I thought, well, okay, I don't have his budget, but that's actually probably a good thing because Ronnie
Yeah,
has a
sure.
lot of pressure on him to make this incredible video. Like he's done like the last, I don't know, 7 videos have been like films. They're amazing. But I was like, I'm in a cool, unique position where I can't spend that money. So I got to kind of like make things work. And I thought of Sam Raimi
Yeah.
and Evil Dead. And I'm like, we can do this. We can make this work. And so I had a great director, my buddy Vicente, who's done, well, I did a movie with him. I was in a movie with his first movie. It was a movie about Johnny Thunders. And we did a couple of things together. And we always wanted to work together on a music video. And so we were always talking about this. I had 10 concepts I sent him. I'm like, which one of these do you like? He's like, literally none of these because you have to scale this shit down. And I'm like, okay, all right. And then we came up with this concept and the witch and I'm like, okay, we have to get underwater and do this thing. He's like, I've never shot underwater. This will be fun. Let's go for it. So it was always like, how do we do that? I don't know. Let's figure it out. And that's been my favorite part of this whole process is like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, let's figure it out. Like I worked at a creature effects house for a little while to just kind of learn stuff. Like if I wasn't doing music,
Awesome.
I'd probably do Foley or special effects or something like that because I just
Yeah.
love film. So like this was like I'm like we're going underwater, guys. I'm gonna lip sync. It's gonna be amazing. We're gonna get there. So it's just gonna be awesome. We get in this pool, and I go down from my shot. I'm like, come on, you pussies, let's do this. You can make this work. And I get in from my shot. I'm like, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Somebody know. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Guys, stop. Cut. You know. And it was a learning
That's
process.
exactly what happened too.
Yeah.
So Mark, so they're like, who wants to go first? And I'm like, I wear contacts. I knew I need to get my eyes open underwater. So I'm like, Mark, you go first. All right, Island, you go next. I'm like, all right, I'll go. And
before I cut you off, just really quick, the Island and Mark did really well. So it made it look easy.
Oh yeah. They made it look easy.
Yeah.
And then I get in there and I can't see a damn thing because I'm blind without my contacts. And so the spinning like you see in the video where I'm like spinning. I've never told anybody this. So the only reason that worked so well for me was because I was a swimmer as a kid. My dad always wanted to go to the pool and swim, and I was a lifeguard. And I had this weird thing that I would do underwater, and I don't know why, where I could like lace vertical or horizontal and spin. I could like I would cross my legs and put my arm behind my back and I could spin. This finally came to I had somewhere to use this in my life.
Waiting.
Was because of this. I never told Johnny that until
That's
right
cool,
now.
that's cool.
I've been waiting for this moment.
You did look cool,
Then
dude.
they go. So then they give Island's got the bass, and I wasn't paying attention, but at the time because I was kind of getting ready, getting the contacts out, and so then they're like, "Okay, your turn. All right, here's the guitar." And it's a 7-pound ESP guitar. It's not heavy. Let me tell you, it's like it's just you float. The minute you jump in, you go straight back up.
He was like,
It does not give you any time. And I was just like, well, this ain't gonna work. So they're like, all right, yeah, we're gonna have to put a weight. So they put a weight on my ankle that had like you could grab it, it was cloth. So I had to keep my foot like this so that the weight would stay right here. And then whenever I was about out of air, flick my ankle down so it would fall off. And then the guitar would slow, and I would just go until I was like, okay, I'm out of the water.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, good. Like, I'm done. Johnny goes. And I mean, first take, Johnny's like, okay, I don't know how we're going to do this. and,
Not to be a drama
and
queen.
so we ended up moving. No, I mean, but dude, you're opening your mouth. I mean, what do it's an open cavity.
Well, it wasn't the mouth. It wasn't just the mouth. It was when they were like, when we were spinning and I went like that or like up and it just like the bubbles like moved up and like, dude, I had to pool water in my face for 3 days.
Well, and I think the pool's like a 13. I was talking to the owner. This is the largest residential pool in North Hollywood.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's like a 13-foot deep residential pool. I mean, the guy has paradise in his backyard.
Yeah.
What is the Grand
Khalifa?
Yeah. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Grand Khalifa on Instagram. I mean, he rents the backyard out for photo shoots and video shoots, and
Oh, wow.
we were probably the
dude in
darkest
world.
of all of it.
Yeah, nicest guy.
Yeah, a super cool dude. And so we're like, how are we going to do this for Johnny? Because Johnny needs to be able to at least shoot for a couple seconds and then stand up, not be 13 feet down in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we took the whole production and moved it to the shallow side, so he could just stand up.
So my
and
water
breathe.
wings, I had to be able to think. It was really funny.
So before we moved the production, that's what we did, all of us together. So that way it was all shot on that end of the pool. But then once Johnny got over the other side, the shots are sweet.
Yeah.
The upside down but he was able to not waterboard himself so bad.
Yeah.
It was brutal. Like there was a minute where I'm like, I don't know how he's going to get through this because this is. It was. I mean, you felt bad because you're probably 6-7 feet underwater, gasping for air immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And but I mean,
it was shocking.
Pulled it off, man. It came out.
Yeah, it was fun, and
to see the final, we were like, holy shit!
Yeah.
Like this actually worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really fun. We want to keep doing that, but like we're gonna have to get a professional crew with us because my cousin shoots underwater, different commercials and movies and stuff. Like they did all like Pirates of the Caribbean movies and stuff, and he has like a whole production team. I was trying to get him to come out, but he was like, it's like I'm over here, I'm over there. I couldn't get it, and so, but he would tell me like when he did an underwater shoot with Gwen Stefani for like some perfume ad, and she's like doing like kind of a circle thing, and he would just be like off camera and then just give her air and then pull it back, but we would have to all get scuba certified and we couldn't get scuba certified in the timeline. So we're going to do that next time.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't tell you that, James. Yeah, next video is underwater again.
Yeah. Were the instruments? Did y'all?
So you're saying keep the guitar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did y'all pick them up at a thrift store or something?
No. Those are. Yeah.
No, that guitar was my first, in my opinion, my first real guitar. That was my first ESP that I ever bought. Is an LTD M250. I bought in 1999. My 5th show ever playing in a band, my senior year of high school, and I was like, I need a guitar with humbuckers. I'm getting an ESP, and it was sitting in my parents' basement for 15, 20 years. I haven't touched it.
Was Island's bass a Music Man? Was Island's bass a Music Man?
It was a Dean.
It was a Dean.
What Johnny hasn't seen yet at Island's house is it's Guitar Center.
Yeah.
It's Guitar Center and parts everywhere, gear everywhere, every room. And so he just went out in his garage
That's so cool.
and found pieces and parts and just screwed it together and said,
That's
I'm going to smoke it underwater.
Yeah, that's right.
Mine, the one I used, you can't see in the video. It only has 5 strings on it. I'm missing parts on it.
Yeah.
I was like, this
Yeah.
guitar is getting used underwater. So
We were trying to
you
do,
know, and it was funny by the time
remember we were trying to do the drum kit?
oh yeah, we were gonna try to do a whole drum kit, but it was just
Dude,
not gonna
Yeah,
happen.
just,
I was
I don't
going
see it.
frame by frame because there's one quick shot. I think one of the first times you see the drummer underwater that I thought I saw a drum in there, and I was like going back, and I was like, no, not. So he's just
No.
drum.
No, he
But
just
I
had
think
sticks. Actually, hold on.
well, but seeing y'all playing the other instruments and the cut being as quick as it is, are those the sticks?
Yeah.
This is one of the sticks. It says, "Oh fuck yeah, daddy" on it.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
That's his sticks, yeah.
But it's the way that you guys cut it in my brain for a second. I pictured the drums already in there, and so I had to go back and be like, wait, did they put drums
to me
underwater?
how Mark looked like he was sitting at a drum kit. Like he positioned himself so perfectly
Mhm.
that there's a spot where it goes from him, and then it goes to me in the sound stage, and then it goes to me in the underwater. And those cuts are just so perfect to me because Mark looks like he's, I don't know, man. There's some Mark does video work too, so
Yeah.
he's got an eye for it and a brain for it. So he definitely knew what he was doing under there, and
Yeah.
it was really fun to watch him.
Yeah.
He was also the only one that wore shoes.
Oh, that's right. No, yeah, he's the only one who wore shoes. I forgot about that. Yeah, dude, like we
Well-
wanted to really push the limits, and everybody, like I as James said, like I didn't know everybody. They didn't know me. And I'm saying like, hey guys, nice to meet you. Let's get into the water. And I'm like, okay, this is what we're doing. We're gonna wear these white
I was the only one. I'm the only one that knew everybody.
Yeah.
Nobody else knew anybody. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I was the nucleus of that.
and that
But I made sure mentally that everyone would get along. And so when it happened, I was like, oh, thank God I did this right.
Yeah.
I remember I got to know everybody that night, and I said, okay, so we're going to be wearing these white jumpsuits in the water. And then Island goes like, well, what do
Oh no,
what
I
do
forgot about
remember that? Yeah. Island goes, so what
I totally forgot.
what are we wearing underneath? And I go, oh, don't wear underwear, because if you wear your underwear, you'll show the black line. I kind of want to be seamless.
Yeah.
And so he goes like, so you want me to wear a white jumpsuit with no underwear? You don't think that something's going to show up on that one? And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So I had to go. So I spent the day before we started the video shoot going to Target with everybody and buying everybody underwear. I was like, God, I got to know everybody. I'm like, what's your size, dude? All right, try this on.
Did you just go with like a white underwear?
Yeah, I
for
think
that.
I think so. Yeah, I just went with white underwear. Like
Yeah.
it was pretty
Okay.
hard.
Yeah.
Well, it worked.
It worked. Yeah.
I didn't notice any lines or anything standing out. I did notice that you guys were duct taped and in some shots chained.
Yes. So it was supposed to look like we were these spirits of like, so basically like the crystal ball holds all of the best versions of James, Johnny, Mark, and
Okay.
Island. And then it's so in the room we're performing, and then she takes it and just pushes it out like that, and all those things from the crystal ball come in and infect us and make us the best versions of ourselves that we can be. And so that's what this whole band is going to be about, like being the best versions of ourselves, you know, creatively and like exploring like philosophical things within the brain of the main character and stuff like that.
Oh, very cool.
Well,
Well,
I totally forgot about that whole conversation that Friday night. like Island wasn't there an hour. It was like, wait, what?
Mhm. Yeah.
Hey, there's no better way for bros to bond.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Than covering up your wieners.
With the, and I won't keep you guys much longer, with the makeup and everything, is everything practical
Yes.
with that? Or
So that's
because there is the face transformation, obviously there's the fingernails.
so let me give a shout out to Bunny.
Yeah.
Bunny is the genius behind the makeup on that. Bunny Zombie on Instagram. She's a badass. I'm going to continue using her throughout this. We've had a conversation about this motif, this witch. She not only did she come up with the right prosthetics, and she found the right ones for what I was talking about. But she applied it to Kelly so fast, and Kelly and her have a relationship, so it was like they knew how to get it done really fast. Kelly was a dream. She was so easy. She followed directions so well. I mean, that girl is going to go real far. And Bunny is just like
Instagram Hot Slime 69.
yes, Hot Slime 69.
Her Instagram's Hot Slime 69.
Yeah, she's a badass. And then we're going to use her again. We're going to use other models that she's friends with and stuff like that, like and really kind of keep this witch motif going. But I want to put it on a guy. I want to put it on an old person. I want to put it on a, if I can, I want to put it on like a child, and just do like how it just like jumps around and does stuff like that to really put that point across.
And figure out which child we want to scar.
Yeah. Right? It's got to be someone's kid who's already cool with this. Like, I don't know, maybe Lawson's coming on board, dude. So we're going to figure this whole thing out.
Dude, he would do it.
Yeah, I think so, man. But we've been having
Lawson
this,
would love it.
we've been having this conversation, me and Bunny, for a little bit, like just briefly, but I'm so excited to see where she takes this stuff, because again, the film world is like my favorite thing. I love The Thing, the movie The Thing. It's one of my favorite. In the Mouth of Madness. Love that stuff. But the practical effects of stuff is just so cool and has this tangible feeling, and that I really latch onto. So I want to kind of embrace that.
Yeah, I agree. Was it like all whiteout contacts? Yeah. Okay, very cool.
It was interesting watching her, like, she did like it was like 3 or 4 times she had to run in and do like a slight change, and then another slight change, and then
yeah,
you know, like, I mean, most of day 2 was her.
Yeah.
Because of the changes and all the shots needed. I mean, us playing the song, I mean,
yeah,
let's just be honest, we can play a song a couple times and we're good to go.
Yeah.
But, you know, with all of her changes and what do we want her to hold? How do you know, Jonny and Vicente were just back and forth so much on, you know, the skull or the ball. What's the point of the ball? Or even that mirror, the mirror in the beginning. You notice there's a mirror in front of her in the very beginning.
Yeah, Zoe brought like that. I got to give a shout out to everybody on this. There was so many great people that worked on this. Alex Flanagan, and there's a couple other Dave. There's some amazing people, but the Zoe was our basically runner for the whole thing, and she put up the right tarot cards. She put up all these cool candles she found. Like, she was amazing, dude. Like, so I want to try and keep that same crew and work with them again, and just keep this motif going, like, and, you know, so we all care about it and want to keep it pushing it forward.
Yeah. Was Zoe responsible for all of the other props, like the semi-decomposed skull with the little bit of hair?
I think it was either her or Vicente, and like they got it from this prop department that was like high end, like really, really high end, and they were like very cool with them using this incredible stuff, and we treated it with respect, of course, and but yeah, it was Zoe and Vicente. I'm not sure which did which, but I mean, Zoe's a genius and Vicente's a genius, so both of them deserve credit.
Yeah, it was really high end, because, you know, of all the times in my life that I've held a human skull, it looked just like that.
I think it's real. I think it was real. Like it, dude. I mean, we had it. We were talking about. I'm like, is this real? Like, because there's some old Hollywood.
It had some density to it.
Yeah.
It had some density to it that didn't feel fake.
No.
It's like the dark underground props department.
Dude, all that old shit, man. Disneyland used to have real skeletons, you know, like they got some stuff.
Did she lick it?
Probably.
She was getting pretty close.
Probably. Yeah.
Probably.
She was dedicated. She's badass.
Yeah. I'm curious, what was the actual book? That big old book.
It was a spell book that was like, it must have been made for some production, because it was detailed. Like every page had something. It was beautiful. And Zoe found that, I'm pretty sure. And it was I don't know what it was made for, but someone cared about that, and for some production, and it just sat on a shelf collecting dust to make it even look better. So yeah, right. So that, I don't know where that came from.
Oh, very cool. Were the sparks and everything, that was all post effects? It honestly, whoever worked on that side of it as well, which I know, you know, you had to, whoever was doing post effects, not only were there the sparks across the screen, there was the moment that was kind of the pull out of the camera, and the sparks come from sparks, ashes, whatever all of it is, the particles come from behind her, but also there was the work on the ball itself of you guys underwater.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of
all of that was done really
there's
well.
A couple things going on right there. Thank you. I'm standing behind Kelly, and I have a big fan. I'm just going like, like that. So her hair goes like that. And some of the stuff
Mm.
goes like that, and the candles flicker. And then my boy
Oh,
Ryan,
cool.
who's the best editor, dude, this guy was a dream to work with. This guy basically was like, I'm like, I want it to kind of feel like this. And he's like, how about sparks like this? Because we were thinking originally like little flying knives, like going around and shit. Like one day I'm going to do that. We're going to figure out a way to have knives
Yeah, yeah.
swirling around like us. That would be awesome. But he was like, I could do it, but I don't know if it's going to look good for the way, because we didn't, he's like, I didn't know
Mm,
you needed that when you were shooting. I would have had you something on me. He's like, it's just, I could do it, but I'm like, no. If you're feeling that way about it, I want to go with what you feel is like looks good. And he found the sparks, and I thought that that just made it perfect and gave it just dimension of like you can have an interesting subject and a boring shot. And like the
sure.
blend of making that shot interesting, what's in the foreground, the background, like stuff coming on, like it having just a little noise, or like, for example, like rain can make a scene look amazing. Like that would have been boring
Mm,
otherwise. So it's all these little tricks. Like if you ever look at like movies in Hollywood, like or TV shows, specifically like CSI, you'll see when you watch a night scene that the ground is usually wet. So they wet down the ground so it just looks nice in a shot. Because if you have a dry ground asphalt, it just kind of like meh. But if you make it shiny and have like a little depth to feel, those little tricks like
yep.
make things have a little bit more dimension and a little bit more weight to them.
Yeah, it is funny that you say that. Because obviously I had mentioned I'd been in 21 Pilots catalog. They did a song for the Suicide Squad movie called
Love that.
Heathens. The music video, the behind the scenes for it, they're in this old basement that's supposed to be like the prison. It might have been a prison basement, but they were using like a spray fog on the lights, to just get a little more density in the air with that. But they also went through the corridor and sprayed it all down with a hose.
Oh
And
yeah.
so is that same thing. I was like, oh, I didn't even recognize that, but it did just give this like dingy character, and obviously the light plays off of
Yeah.
it. And so, yeah, he did a great job with those effects, because I've done simple effects with videos, and you can throw an overlay on and it can just look really
Mhm.
cheesy, but I felt like he really did a great job just integrating it in, whatever the color matching and all of that, that it even though I know within the actual filming, it's not done in depth, but however he accomplished it, it does feel like you guys are in the midst of it.
Yeah.
And so they did a great
Well,
job
it
with
was
that.
funny because we get the first cut, and none of that stuff was done yet. And I'm like, all right, cool, let's go. And Johnny's like, no,
No,
we're not done yet.
hold
And I
on.
go, what? And then we had a tentative date. We wanted to release it, and then he sent like, this is what this is what he's working on right now. And it was like it was like a 5-second clip of Mark in the ball, in the crystal ball. And that's when I went, okay, well, we're not going to have it on time, and I don't care. Like, if that's where we're going with this, whatever. Just
Yeah.
keep us
Yeah,
updated so I can
let him
push it,
cook.
because I do all the online stuff. So I'm like, just let me know when I can start pushing something, because I if that's what he's trying to do right now, and that's what he's making it look that good in that 5 seconds, then all right,
Yeah,
like,
and that's a combination
just
of
whatever.
Vicente shooting a great scene, having the right cinematographers, and having and knowing the right editor that he was going to pitch this thing to. Anyways, we didn't even have Ryan yet, I think, but like our producer Aaron, he figured all that out. Like, I mean, it's such a great team. Like when you have a good team that cares about it and you pay them what they're worth. I mean, I hope I paid them what they're worth. I did everything I could, but people care about being there, then that's the going to get the best result.
Yeah.
Well, and Alex, right? He's the one that was shooting
Un-
underwater.
yeah,
That
Alex.
was Alex.
Yeah, he was great.
Dude, that kid, I give that kid, that kid, man, like he spent so much time he spent probably 5 hours straight in the water,
Yep.
for all
Wow.
of our, I mean, he got out maybe a couple times real quick, but I mean, it was 65 degrees outside. So you got out of the heated pool and
Hmm.
you shriveled up pretty quick,
Yep.
like it was
It
cold.
was
And,
cold.
but I mean, he was so into it. And so, and you're doing, you're making something cool when you're shooting in the water and he's showing Vicente and Johnny, and Vicente is like, oh yeah, like he was just, you can hear him, like I have a video my wife took, she was getting B-roll for us, and it's, the camera's coming up on me, and you hear Vicente's going, oh fuck yeah, fuck yeah, like, you know, and I'm like, so and like, you know, like hearing, you know, the next day when she sent it to me, she goes, oh, by the way, I forgot I took this, and I'm like, all right, if he was that excited over that,
Yeah.
we were doing something right.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know, it just, and it gives you that feeling for the next couple months of like, I can't wait for this to be done
Yeah.
because we know we did something really cool.
Yeah.
that's
And gave us
awesome.
ideas for the next thing.
Yeah, I think
You know?
for sure. I think the
True.
last question that I had on this was the head replacement. Were you just on your knees, like matching the same thing as the skull, and then they kind of painted you out? Were you wearing like a black sheet to just make it as easy as
See, this
possible?
is how it's so great working with dudes like Vicente because we're shooting Kelly and she's got the head and we're doing all these things. I'm like, yeah, that's supposed to be me and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, wait, can I put my head in there? And they're like, yeah, you should totally put your head in there. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And I just like jump in and she just holds my, and she can't see anything. She can't see anything. She's got the white eye. She's like, oh, where's your head? Where's your head? I'm like, I'm here. I'm here. So, and then she grabs my head. Like, all right, cool. And she just like held it for like, cause she didn't, I'm like, don't move. And she just like grabbed me and it was perfect. I'm wearing the normal clothes I was wearing, man. Like the guys just knew how to shoot in a way of what I wanted to achieve. Like these guys you can't rattle them. They're so seasoned. Everyone like that worked on this from the band too. Like everybody involved was just so seasoned and cared exactly of making this thing like the best it could possibly be. There's no ego on that set at all.
All the way down to making sure that we were out of there before 9 p.m.
On the dot, on the fucking dot,
We
dude.
had a
Got a
minute.
We had
bedtime.
one minute.
1 minute.
Yeah.
If we weren't out by, we had 1 minute. Like it got to a point where like if we're not out by 9, like there's a hefty fine basically.
Yeah.
And so we got the last shot. We had 15 minutes to get everybody out, and they got to the point where everyone was just grabbing lights, grabbing whatever, moving everything out. And with a minute left,
Yeah.
everything was out in the parking lot so they could tear it down in the parking lot.
Kelly,
And we're like,
and Kelly,
you guys need help? And they're like, no, go ahead.
remember Kelly had to go
Yeah, Kelly,
to work.
she went, yeah. So Kelly, as she got done with her part, and she's like, come to the Rainbow. I'm working at the Rainbow tonight. And we're like, okay. Like, because we were, I mean, here's the honest truth. We were all so tired from the pool still.
Yeah, we were.
The pool really wore us out
Yeah.
to the point where we were like, we want to go see Kelly because that was a lot of fun and it's the Rainbow and the food's good.
But we couldn't get out of bed.
We're going to go back to the Airbnb and we're so tired.
It's bedtime.
And we were staying in that beautiful place in Beverly Hills. That place was so cool, the second spot. But yeah, that was
Yeah, the second place. Yeah, I love that place.
yeah. But
But
That's
yeah,
amazing.
it was all the way down to the last minute was just amazing.
yeah. And then the cool thing is like you know, our drummer is a director as well. And so he was taking notes and going like, okay, cool. So like we're gonna be able to film more stuff than your average band because of our drummer. So we've set the tone and now we can like really hit the ground running.
That's awesome.
I think we're shooting another video
Well, I guess
in March too.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess on that note, what ultimately can we expect from you guys in the future? Or is there anything toward like a desire for when an album will come out, or you guys ready to share anything along those lines?
I'll give you our schedule. How about that? So next week,
Tentatively.
tentatively.
Hopefully.
Well, I'll just tell them the schedule. Like, I am going up to Denver to record vocals for as much of the original music as we can, plus a few cover tunes for fun. Then we're gonna shoot some content up there. Then we come back down here in March. We're gonna shoot a video in Vegas, have the whole band in Vegas, and sometime in March. And then we play our first show in April at the Globe Iron in Cleveland. And our goal is to have music out before we hit the stage. And we think we can
Sure.
achieve that. We think if we can't, we'll definitely have something out. Like if it's just one song, we're hoping to have more, but that's our tentative schedule.
Very good. Well, is there any final message you want to leave anybody with, or anything that you want them to check out?
I just want to
I
go on,
mean, for
James.
me, just say thank you. I just want to say thanks to everybody who's actually been paying attention. I mean, we are a new band. We've all been in bands. We've all toured in bands. But when you're a new band, I mean, how many times have you seen main guys or whoever leave to start a new band? I mean, we are starting over. So,
Yeah.
you know, if you're enjoying what we're doing, then share it with your friends. You know, that's that is sharing is caring, and it is honestly the best way anyone finds new music.
Yeah.
You know, how many bands have we all found because our friends went, "Did you hear this yet?"
Yeah.
So that's honestly, that's the best thing that could happen right now.
Yeah, I just want to echo that and say thank you to everyone who's really paid attention and clicked like and share, and thank you, Matthew, for giving a shit about our
Yeah.
lyrics and looking at it, and really thank you so much for diving into that. That really felt really cool to dissect that with you.